Hello, everybody. Welcome, welcome. This is the second session of our Life Mentoring Forum. All of you guys, I'm so glad that you joined us. It is so wonderful to have you guys. So you know, we're not just about real estate, okay? Because as I always say in my meetings, folks, it's not just about money. We're not here just to make money. We're also here to grow, to become better human beings. We're here to get to enjoy, to experience happiness, to help other people. Okay, there's just so much to life, but some people, unfortunately, think that the only thing that they can actually get out of life, or they the only one, is just basically money. That's not all that counts. There are a lot of other stuff in there. So anyways, folks, we're just going to start. We're going to start with a poem that I translated. I just mentioned briefly a little bit ago. This poem is by Rumi, the great mystic poet, and it's about destiny, and it's about how we can rewrite our own destiny. That destiny is not set in stone, that we have the power to change it. So when I read it and I said, oh, I got to translate this. So I did it for you folks. So I'm going to share a screen with you so you can follow along and see what he talks about. And after that, we're going to go ahead and talk about letting go. So can everybody, can you all see my screen?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yes,
great.
we can.
All right, so here's the first part of it. It says rewriting your destiny again. So Rumi says destiny could be rewritten again, perhaps this time with a better version again. A passionate new love story can be written again with less sorrow and pain in the story again. Where did this belief came from that says one can lose his life but cannot change destiny again? To affect your destiny, plant new flowers and fruit trees of love in the garden of life. At difficult times, whether in a winter snow or a rainy spring, plant new seeds of ideas and actions with love in the garden of life again. If one day you get to know the secret game of life and know who and what is creating it, you will know that each moment of life is like the waves of the ocean. Although it is cold and brutal, it will always harmoniously bring you to the shore. At every moment, the boundaries are wide open with no limits in the sky. Open your wings and soar to your heights, to your highest limits. There is where you change and your destiny will unfold. Therefore, write a new chapter in the storybook of your life and destiny will follow. Like it or not, we are the gardeners and keepers of the garden of our lives. Let's plant new flowers and different fruit trees of love and rewrite our destiny again. So what do you guys think?
Nice.
Isn't that beautiful?
Sam, what is the original language?
The original language is Persian, it's Farsi.
Thank you.
So I read that in
Rumi is,
Farsi. I'm sorry?
okay. Rumi is Farsi.
Yeah, Rumi is Persian. 90%
Okay.
of his poems written in Farsi, which is Persian. And I studied Rumi for a lot of years. So let's get back to this idea of rewriting your destiny, guys. Okay,
Sure.
how many of you folks believe that destiny can be written or rewritten? And how many of you guys are committed to make your future much better than your past? So just share with me a little bit, whoever wants to. There is no, we're not forcing anybody. So go ahead, anybody.
I think everybody should strive to become better version of yesterday. So tomorrow is always, you have to learn new things to be better than your version yesterday. That's
Right.
my life goal.
That's beautiful. So you're
It's
like,
hard. It's hard, but I think it's doable, especially for motivated people like our group, like Sam's Real
right.
Club group.
And why do you say it's hard? You know,
Uh,
why would it be hard?
it's uncomfortable, Sam, to be uh, uh, striving to do better and better and better. You have to learn new things. You have to learn new technologies, and then be outside of your comfort zone. Like in
There
order
you
to try
go.
a new things, you
There
have
you
to be
go.
outside of
Your
your
comfort
comfort zone.
zone. Yeah.
Exactly.
Didn't you step out of your comfort zone when you
Yes.
decided to step into the unknown and buy a
Yeah.
triplex out of nowhere that you had no idea what was going to happen? And look at what happened.
Exactly.
You
Yeah.
know,
Yeah.
folks, the
Exactly.
greatest growth that we can experience in life is not in the world of the known, it's in the world of the unknown.
The unknown.
When
Yeah.
we step into the unknown, when we don't know what's going to happen, that's where the beauty of life, that's where life is beautiful. You know, if we always are in the comfort zone and do not want to experience anything new, how are we going to ever grow? How are we ever going to, you know,
Yeah.
it's like people say, I don't want to make mistakes. Well, people that don't make mistakes, they don't do anything.
Yeah.
The only way that you can actually do things is when you make mistakes, and by making mistakes, you learn, you get better. Okay, otherwise, might as well just sit back and say, okay, well, you know, I don't want to do anything, and that's all there is to it. Okay, well, you will never make any mistakes, but you will never get anywhere. You see what I'm saying? You
Yeah.
know. So, anybody else want to share with that as far as rewriting your destiny? Gary Armstrong, how do you rewrite your destiny, buddy?
Sam, you already know, but I'll share it with the group, is that I think my life has changed drastically. I think I'm on the path of definitely the mindset of what I think is all about. And I really preach that to a lot of people, you know, and I try to preach to myself that it's your mindset. It's definitely your mindset, and that's what I really try to get behind. Um, I wish I would have had that in the beginning. I really think I really missed out on a lot of stuff, but I gained so much. That's the important thing, is I've gained so much, and you know, I actually truly believe, you know, I'm financially not there, Sam, but I truly believe that I have transgressed to the other side in terms of how to get it. You
Right.
comprehend what I'm saying? You get what
Yes,
I'm,
yes.
you know, I'm
Yes,
limited
sir.
in how I can speak, but I'm just trying to convey that I truly think that because of, you know, where I was at and where I'm at now, because of the meetings and you know, communicating with you, uh, I really believe you're like a really good friend, and that's what makes it really important too. But yeah, I mean, I think, you know, I'm hanging in there. You know, that's what you keep preaching: hang in there, hang in
You're
there,
right.
hang.
You're better. You're doing
And you
better
can
than hanging in
and you
there.
can speak
You're
for
doing
me,
better.
and you can
Yeah,
speak for me because I've been communicating with you. You know, I always we
that's right.
talk a lot. Me and you
That's
talk
right.
a lot, and I like to know, you know, with the group right here, do you think that I'm doing what you're telling me to do? Do you
I think
personally
so. I
think? Do you
think
think I'm doing what you tell? I screw up a lot though, Sam, and you know I do. I'm a screw up. I'm sorry. I am. I am. I do shit. I do shit that you know I did,
Oh
and
God.
I'm not gonna bring it out right now. I'm gonna talk to you later about it, but
Oh, that's
I
funny,
get
man.
over it. We get over it. We get over it,
What you
and
know
just
what? You know what? Gary, listen. I want to congratulate you. Okay. The reason I want to congratulate you is that you're making a lot of mistakes. You know,
a
I wish
lot.
I
Talk to
um
Taylor. If Taylor was here, every I'm sending her stuff, and she's sending it back to me. But I am learning so much. She's sending it back to me. It's like she reminds me of some of my teachers when I was in grade school on grading my reports, you know, and
well, you have done excellent, and
she's sending.
judging by what you have grown and what you have done in your life, I can tell you that you're on the right path, my friend.
And
Okay,
I
so
am here. I am here, Gary.
She's
I'm
there.
under the Life Mentoring
I was
Forum.
hoping you weren't, Taylor. I was hoping you weren't there.
Well, you know what? I also have to congratulate you too, because you are being an active investor. You are sending, the deals for me to analyze. And so that's very good. That's excellent.
Okay, thank
yeah,
you.
I agree. He's very proactive. That's awesome. Guys, I'm going to share a screen with you again. It's just going to be a little bit of lag, but you're going to see the screen because we want to move forward with letting go, because tonight's program is about letting go. How do we let go of the past upsets? How do we let go of situations where we lost money, situations where somebody left us, we're heartbroken, somebody, we lose somebody. I mean, all of that stuff. And by the way, I just want to put a disclaimer in there. I'm not a therapist. I'm not a licensed therapist or any kind of therapist. All I have done a lot of studies. I've read widely. I've studied NLP, neuro linguistic programming, and I've done a lot of self-improvement, personal development courses and classes. So I've gathered my own sort of, if you will, technology or techniques of helping other people. But if there is anything, so I'm saying that, I'm not taking the place of your therapist. If in fact you need somebody or need a therapist, please seek their advice. We're just here to share ideas, share opinions, and as a result, we all get better. So I've put together something for you from the works of, let me share screen with you. Okay, folks, just bear with me for 1 second. All right.
And while he's pulling that up, I wanted to let everybody know that I did put a link to this article that Sam has in the chat box, so you can download it from there.
Thank you so much. Okay, folks,
Thank
we
you.
read the Rewriting Your Destiny, and I want to encourage all of you guys to rewrite your destiny. Your past does not equal your future. Whatever has happened in the past is completely irrelevant. As far as I'm concerned, the past belongs in the garbage can and something that you can never change ever again. Okay, we're always moving forward. And because we're moving forward, always look into the future. Live in the moment, but look into the future. And your future can be bright and beautiful because you do believe that the past does not equal your future. At any instant, you can have an instant awakening. You can have a great seeing. Okay, Netohi. Okay, in the Indian American Indian tradition, they call it Netohi. It's like great seeing. Your eyes are open one day. Okay, so that is definitely a possibility for each and every one of you, myself included, Taylor, everybody, that we have the ability to make changes into our future. So that's what letting go is all about. Letting go, I compiled and also I expanded some of the works of Dr. David Hawkins. Okay, Dr. Hawkins has written a lot of great books, and the one that I'm talking about is called Letting Go. Okay, if any of you folks, could you please mute yourselves so we won't have the echo? I think some of you guys, if you're at any given time, you're ready to speak, you can unmute. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Okay, so letting go. What's the definition of letting go? It's like a sudden cessation of an inner pressure or dropping of a weight. Okay, I'm just going to give you an example. Okay, so you're in the middle of an intense argument, angry, upset with somebody, your loved one, your son, your daughter, your wife, or your business partner, and all of a sudden you find the entire communication very ridiculous and absurd, and you start laughing. The moment you laugh, the pressure is relieved. You come up from the anger to from anger and fear and feel happy again. So that's called a letting go. I'll give you another example. So you had a heartbreaking relationship experience with the significant other. So you're sad, you're depressed, you're upset. I can definitely relate to that myself for an extended period of time, right? And then you find yourself all of a sudden, you find yourself waking up in the middle of the night, and knot in your stomach, you're upset, you cry, you're just desperate. But one day you wake up and you decide to let go. And at that moment, and at that instant, you're relieved from all the pressure and pain, and the world looks bright and beautiful again. Okay, so example number 3, you lose a job. All of us can experience, relate to that. Okay, we feel angry, we feel sad, fear permeates our, our entire life. and we don't know what to do. Many days of suffering, the anxiety about the future, but one day, miraculously, you have an epiphany and you let go and you decide to surrender to the universe. When I use universe, please, you can put that in there: God, supreme being, creator, whatever you believe in. I just choose to say universe because I don't want to have any connotation, misunderstanding about connotation of or misconnotation of God. So I say universe. You can interchange that word with anything you want. So anyways, so you surrender to the universe, you surrender to God, and suddenly you feel relieved. Once again, you're happy and life goes on. So the other examples would be like not expressing your feelings to your parents before they died. I was very conscious of doing that. So I spoke with both of my parents before they died, and they died recently. And I just told them how I felt. And it was a great thing because when they died, I wasn't holding back. There was nothing in there that would upset me. Another example would be not taking advantage of a business opportunity that could have changed your life, okay? Or missing out on having a home of your dreams that somebody, outbid you by like a few $1,000 where you could have had that property. Okay, failing to act on a romantic relationship. Somebody you saw, a woman, a man that that you loved, that you saw, that you felt good about, and you wanted to know him, but you were afraid. You just sort of decided to be, that fear stopped you from acting, and boom, and you're still not able to let go. How about a heartbreaking divorce? How about losing a job? How about losing a loved one, losing money, losing your house? All of these things are examples of things that make us suffer in life, and that suffering is essentially suffering will not end until you decide to let go. And a little bit further down, I'm going to tell you, or Dr. Hawkins is going to show you the mechanism of letting go. What are the steps involved in your ability to increase your ability to let go of anything that is hurting you in life? So with that being said, I want you guys to share with me, because this is an interactive class. So how many of you can relate to this? Can you share your experience of any of these examples that I gave you right now?
Yeah, almost
so
all
unmute
of it.
yourself. Yeah. Go ahead.
I can relate to, if not specifics, like I've never gone through a divorce of my own. Yeah, I can definitely relate to having unmet expectations.
Oh, unmet expectations. Yeah. You mean of yourself?
Of life around me, like how will it turn out? Will he want to be with me? Will he not want to be with me? Yeah, it's
so
just.
Is this something that you're still hanging on to? Is that what you're saying, or you already let go of that?
I have let go of it.
Good, very good. So is there anything right now that you're hanging on to that you're not able to let go?
Well, the most difficult thing is a perception I have of myself. And sometimes it has been true that I have not completed things I've begun. And that's a hard one. And it's really hard looking forward and getting excited about new plans. I don't want to go there again and say, oh my God, I didn't finish something I started. So I'm very sensitive to always being able to reinvent my future, always being able to reinvent my present. I'm not going to confine myself to what has happened in the past. I can't.
I see. Good. I'm glad to hear that. Thank you, Richard. So anybody else want to share, guys, about one of these examples? Something?
Sam, I was relating to number 3 example, where I had a different career for 27 years, and I reached a point where I was making a significant money, and they let me go and replaced me with the people that I trained. And that was about 2.5 years ago. Although I had the inspection company while that was going on, and the other company, the real estate company, but 27 years in that career, being let go was devastating.
I see. So question, have you been able to let go, or are you still hanging on?
It's gotten to the point where I have let go a little bit, but I still think about it. the recent moves that I made with the plan that I put in place worked out very well, and I feel like I am moving forward, but I don't know if I'm going to quite ever really get over that one.
Okay, well, that's not a very good programming. That what you just said. That I don't think I'll ever get rid of it. That's not
Like,
true.
I don't
It's
know
your,
if I
it's
will.
yeah, it's your decision, and your decision is
Yes.
going to Once you make a decision, once I complete a little, what Dr. Hawkins taught us, maybe you understand that until you accept that. Until you accept it, maybe you're still in the anger process. Maybe you're still a little bit depressed about it. I don't know what it is, but until you totally accept that, things will not change and you won't be able to let go. And that's what I want you to get to. But I'm thank you so much for sharing, Guy. I really appreciate that. Okay, anybody else want to share, guys?
I'll
Or
share
ladies and
something.
gentlemen?
I don't know if
Go
you
ahead.
can hear me okay. I apologize for not sharing my screen. I didn't know it was going to be a Zoom meeting as opposed to a webinar.
Could you introduce yourself?
Oh, I'm Gerald King. I'm sorry.
Oh,
I'm
Gerald
this guy
King.
here.
Yeah, go ahead,
Yeah.
Gerald.
Okay. Reading your the letting go pathway of surrender, I was thinking, I try to have I think it's all about an outlook. This is how I've kind of used certain things to try to let go. And I kind of look at it like life as being an experience, and certain people are in your life for just a certain amount of time. And you try to approach it from to be appreciative of that person being in your life. It can be a short time, it could be a long time. They could be your friend, lover, or someone that passed. And you just say, you know what, I appreciate that person's time, the time we spent together. And you always try to grow from each and every experience, I think. And on top of that, when things don't always go good, like in a relationship, I always try to take responsibility for whatever happens, good or bad. And, try to look at it from, what went right, what went wrong, what was my part in it. And then when I come to that kind of understanding, you realize, hey, you want that person to be happy, whether they're with you or not. And if you truly look at it from a human aspect, then maybe they're better off over here. And you can still love somebody, at a distance. You might not be with them, but you can still love them. And it kind of helps you kind of move forward to the next experience. You try to grow and be better in the next time around. So anyway,
that is a very mature way of looking at it, Gerald. I think that's awesome. You put your finger on something very important, and you said that you take responsibility for it, meaning that instead of pointing your finger at someone else and to blame them for the condition of your life, you're saying, hey, I am responsible for the conditions that I'm in, and that's the only time that I can change something in my life, when I take responsibility for it. Because if you are blaming somebody else, then how are you ever going to change anything in life? It's like I have a problem, and then I have a problem with, let's say, Gary, and I send Gary to a therapist to get therapy, in order for me to get better. That's never going to happen. You follow what I'm saying, guys?
Right.
I got a problem. I got to take responsibility for it. My wife cannot, if she goes to therapy, it won't help me. If anybody else goes, no. The only person that can help me is me, and that's exactly what you pointed out, taking responsibility. So that's good, guys. I really appreciate that. You want to go on a little bit, understanding what Dr. Hawkins talked about, letting go? Okay, so let's go. Let's read some more. How's that? Bear with me for 1 second while I share my screen with you. Okay, I hope everybody can see. So we went over the examples of so many different examples of what happens in life. So how many of you can relate? We talked about that. So think how great it would be if you could do that all the time, guys. If you have a situation that is upsetting you in life and you have the ability to let go very quickly, to getting ability to let go of the negative feelings, attitudes, beliefs, because when you accumulate all of that, when it's all accumulated in our lives, it puts too much pressure in our lives. And we all believe that, oh, it's a human condition. It's okay to feel like that. It's okay to feel down and upset and be unhappy because everybody's like that. No, that's not why we came here. Rumi says the objective of life is joy. The objective of life is not suffering. Okay, so if we suffer, it's because we don't know what the heck is going on. Once we get the, understand the nature of life, then we're not going to suffer. Okay, we're not going to suffer as much. Yes, go ahead, Gary.
Can I give an example? A guy
Sure.
tailgated me the other day, and then had the audacity to blow his horn. I flipped him off and used a lot of profanity. Is that what you're talking about?
Is that all you did, Gary?
I did it. I'm sorry. Call me
That all
crazy.
you did?
It takes a lot of courage, first of all, to share with that, share that. And then also, here's the beauty of it. If you experience that, the trick is if you let go the moment that happened, and after that, after a minute, it's gone and you don't think about it, there is nothing wrong with it. Because that is, in fact, is a reaction at that moment. We all have reaction. Nobody can say like, oh, some people are compulsively happy all the time. Compulsively being happy all the time is just as bad as being negative all the time. There is no such thing. The human experience is, yes, we go up and down. The key issue is that when you go down, you can come out of it and get out of it quickly. So I have a question for you, Gary. Were you able to let go even after the experience? Is it gone already, or you still thinking?
Seconds. Completely forgot about it. I mean, seconds.
That is it. That is it. And didn't you feel better and relief of the pressure the moment you let go of something that was upsetting?
I felt bad about doing it. I actually felt bad about doing it. That's the truth. I really felt bad about it. I felt I should have let it go. I shouldn't have even took it there.
Well, what you just said is an example of taking responsibility. So which means that next time that happens, because the past is already gone, you cannot change that, okay? But what you're telling me is because you felt bad about it and because you looked at it from a logical perspective, right now you know that next time that if it happens, you're just gonna let it go. Is that true?
Oh yeah, definitely, definitely.
Well, then you have learned. You have learned. So that's when we talk about the surrendering. So if you could surrender to the underlying painful feeling, there is a painful feeling attached, according to Dr. Hawkins, there is a painful feeling attached to every negative thought. So people are trying to make their thoughts from negative to positive. Not until you get rid of the underlying negative feeling that is associated with that thought. And that's what he's talking about in terms of letting go. You let go of that negative feeling, because the moment you do that, boom, the negative thought is going to be gone. Okay.
Can I ask?
So
I'm sorry, Sam. Can I chime in with something? Because
is this Chris?
Is that Chris?
No.
Chris.
Okay, Chris, go
What's
ahead.
up, man?
Hey,
No, what I was going to say, I had a similar experience to what you did, Gary. It happened a few years ago, and I generally tend to pride myself on being very nice and very cordial to people and all that. But sometimes, when you're in the middle of a stranger or someone passing by you, flipping you the bird or causing that kind of pressure, you tend to snap. And that's kind of like what happened to me. Somebody was behind me. I was driving home and I was in a really good mood. And then somebody was tailing me and they were honking their horn. And I'm like, what in the world is this guy doing, doing this? I'm minding my own business. And he literally tailing me. I don't know whether he was he was obviously in a rush. But then all of a sudden, he tailed me and then he got around and shot right past me, flipped me off and kept going. At that point, I snapped. So I literally, guys, I didn't just throw my finger up at him. I chased his butt. I chased him. I literally chased him for like maybe a half a mile. And then when I got up to his car, he was at a stoplight and he couldn't go anywhere else. I got right beside him and I said, man, you want to dance? You want to dance? Get out the car right now. Get out the car. And I was just literally going off on him, and all I could see, this guy, he's like just white knuckled at that point, and right. Then after that, after the light turned green, after a while, I kind of had to come after my emotions came back and I came to my senses, I had to come back to the realization that, if somebody had called the police, they could have probably taken me in for pursuing him.
That's right. That's right. Because like a sport, the person who does the foul, the initial foul is always missed. The person who retaliates always gets it. Okay. So here's my question to you, Chris. Have you let that go, or is it still bothering you a little bit?
Oh no, that was just that I've long since let that go, Sam. That was a
Okay.
crazy experience,
Yeah.
I had one or two moments like that afterward, but in general, I do tend to hold my tongue. I do
Yeah, I
tend to
know.
hold
I
my
know. You're a pretty laid back kind of guy. I know how you are. So that's good. I'm glad you shared that with us. This is an experience of something happens, but I tell you, folks, you guys were able to let it go. I know people that are hanging on to a negative feeling for years, for decades, because somebody called them an idiot, because somebody said something they didn't like, because someone, cheated them out of $10, because
yeah.
somebody cut them off. They're still thinking, oh, on that day I should have done this. Come on, you guys, that's exactly what I'm talking about. Because the whole concept that we're talking in here is stress is not internal. The real source of stress is external. Okay, this is right here in the what is the surrender state paragraph, right in the middle of the page. It's an internal situation. We internalize what has happened out there to create that stress within us. Otherwise, no, there would be nothing. It just happens and it goes by you, it goes before you, and it's over. Okay. But here's what Dr. Hawkins have to say about the benefits of life crisis. Anytime you have life crisis and people think, oh my God, life crisis, my life's upside down. Oh yeah, you can look at it like disempowering you can look at it like something negative. You can look at it like it's your life is devastated. You can look at it like, oh, there is no hope for tomorrow. Or you can look at it like, hey, what can I learn from this? And Dr. Hawkins says that passing through a life of crisis makes you more human, makes you more compassionate, make you more accepting and understanding of yourself and other people. Okay, so handling an emotional crisis leads to greater wisdom and results in results in a lifetime of benefits. But that's all predicated upon you taking that responsibility position, that Gerald was talking about earlier, like you guys are talking about, taking that position of responsibility, meaning that, look, this has happened. I'm experiencing a life of crisis. What have I got to learn out of this thing? How am I going to put this into good use? So according to Dr. Hawkins, you have the ability to do that. You got to change your perspective. You got to look at life from a different angle. You got to change the color of your lenses. It's too bad that all of us, most of us in life, have a color lens that we never change. Okay, if you got the brown shade, the brown is always there. Sometimes we forget. We can take the brown off and put the green on. Okay, and we get locked into that point of view, and that creates all sorts of issues for us. So life crisis, folks, is an opportunity for you to evaluate and let go of guilt. Okay, anytime a crisis happens to you, understand that the other side of crisis is benefit, is opportunity. So in every crisis, there is a seed of opportunity. This is something that has been shared throughout the ages by the great, wise men and women of the past, that they all say, look at crisis as opportunity. Look at crisis as a situation to grow. Look at crisis as taking responsibility to better and improve the quality of your life. And that's what he's talking about. So never again should we look at crisis as, oh my God, my life is devastated. Okay, it's supposed to make you better, because according to Rumi, okay, light enters you where the wound exists. Wherever you're wounded, wherever you're hurt, is where light can come into your life. You understand, guys, what I'm talking about? This is amazing what he says. He says the wound,
So powerful.
Yeah, the wound is the place that light enters you. So instead of looking at the wound like, oh my God, I'm wounded and I'm bleeding and I'm gonna die. No, open your heart and say, look, I am wounded. Yes, light come into my life, brighten my life, get me out of the darkness. Okay. When they asked Socrates, great, Greek philosopher, they asked him, it says, hey, master, how did you find darkness? How did you find light? He says, I found light in darkness. Okay. So look at darkness as an opportunity to find light. Look at a wound, allow it to open you up and allow the light to come into your life, because light is the opposite of darkness, and light is where you can essentially grow with. Light is what gives you and nourishes you. Light is what brings education and knowledge to your life, because the darkness is essentially ignorance and light is education. And anytime you open that wound and open it wider, and yes, come on, give me more light, your life will change. I know that because I've experienced it. Okay, I'm probably older than all of you combined. I've probably lived God knows how many lifetimes. Anyways, that's a whole different story. All of us have. I'm just saying. But I've experienced a lot of things. I've had heartbreaking relationships, as recent as a few years ago. So I have had situations in life, opportunities that I've missed upon. I have lost money. I've made lots of mistakes. I mean, Gary says I make a lot of mistakes. Yeah, you're not the only one, bud. Okay, but I'm proud of the fact that I am where I am, and I look at my life as stepping stones to get me to where I am here. And those stepping stones, those mistakes were necessary for me to be here in where I am, so that I'm in a good place in my life. I'm happy most of the time. I'm not compulsively happy or saying I'm compulsively positive. No, that's a robot. That's a cybernetics organism. That's not a human being. But the way I look at life, like Emerson, Ralph Waldo Emerson, the great American philosopher, he gives us a great metaphor for life. He says, look at the life like a river. The river has got two banks. One bank is to the right, the other bank is to the left. One is the bank of pain, the other one is the bank of pleasure. He says, you try and swim in the middle of the stream and to be in the center as much as possible. However, there are times that you bump in to the bank of pleasure, and sometimes you bump into the bank of pain. That's not unusual. Here's the trick. Don't get stuck on either side. You don't want to get stuck too long on the bank of pleasure, and you certainly do not want to get stuck for too long on the bank of pain. Is everybody with me on that?
Yeah. Is that kind of like mindfulness?
Yeah, you can say mindfulness. That's a very good example of that. Yeah. So that you're mindful of what's going on, and you realize that, that getting stuck on either side is not the purpose of life.
Yeah.
The purpose of life to be in the center. Okay, to be in the middle of the stream and let the flow of the river take you downstream. That's what life is all about. That's what Ralph Waldo Emerson told us. Okay, so these are the great people that are teaching us stories, teaching us things. Anyways, let's go to the next one, and then I can share. You can ask you guys to share with me. Dr. Hawkins is talking about the mechanism of letting go. He says letting go involves being aware of a feeling. You brought up, Chris, the point of mindfulness. That's what he's talking about right here. Letting go involves being aware of a feeling, letting it come up, staying with it, and letting it run its course without wanting to make it different or do anything about it. It means simply to let the feeling be there and to focus on letting out the energy behind it. The first step is to allow yourself to have the feeling without resisting it, venting it, fearing it, condemning it, or moralizing about it. It means to drop judgment and to see that it is just a feeling. The technique is to be with the feeling and surrender all efforts to modify it in any way. Let go of wanting to resist the feeling. It is the resistance that keeps the feeling going. When you give up resisting or trying to modify the feeling, it will shift to the next feeling and be accompanied by a lighter sensation. A feeling that is not resisted will disappear as the energy behind it dissipates. What is he talking about here, folks? Don't resist the feeling. The first thing people do, oh yeah, they get mad and they start resisting, feeling guilty, resisting about, why am I mad? Why did I feel like that? That's exactly what you do not want to do. He says, don't label it, don't judge it, don't moralize it, don't make it into a bad or a good situation. He says, let the feeling come up, stay with it, and let it run its course. Don't resist it, because the more you resist it, the more it persists. And what's the human tendency, folks? To resist it like hell, to resist every little thing that happens in life, and then we give it a name. You break up a relationship with somebody and you start, I was so bad, it was so bad of me, I'm so feeling guilty, that person was such a garbage person anyways, I don't want that person in my life to begin with. That's exactly what he's saying that you shouldn't do. Or you lose money in a situation, oh damn it, I should have taken that opportunity sooner, why did I even listen to so and so and go and invest in such and such a place and lose my money? Why didn't I taking care of the opportunity that I had, that beautiful house, and I didn't? I'm such an idiot. Okay, so these are the things that Dr. Hawkins is saying don't do. These are the things that will keep that negative feeling in place, and therefore gives rise to the negative thought on regular basis, and it destroys your life on a daily basis. And then you find out, what the hell happened to my day? What the hell happened to my year? It's been a lousy year.
Sam, can I say something?
Sure, Gary, go ahead.
What if you're that person who's been doing that his whole life? And
change. Decide to change. It's all a decision, Gary.
It's like been a broken record in your mind,
Right.
repeating that,
Okay. You know what you got to do in order for you to be able to reach to that level that Dr. Hawkins is talking about? Meditate, stay quiet. There's too much noise around us all the time, from the moment we get up with the freaking smartphones, and then with all the social media and all the garbage and negative media and the news that is constantly, is destroying our brain. Disconnect from that for a little while, forever. Don't watch TV, sit in meditation. The moment, the beauty, silence is where God is. Okay, you know who said that? Gandhi said that. Silence where God is. If you really, and also Dalai Lama, if you really want to experience God, if you really want to experience serenity of being, okay, that's what you need to do. Silence. Okay, you think the notes make the music? No, the silence is what makes the music. The pauses between the notes that makes the music. Okay, so be in silence. Whether it's you, Gary, or somebody else, all you got to do is change the way of your life. It's talking about taking a different action. As long as you keep doing whatever it's been whatever it is you've been doing, you're going to produce the same results. Got to change. Got to make sure that something changes. And the best way to start is to sit in meditation. And Chris talked about it, mindfulness. Be mindful of what is happening in your life. Be aware of your surrounding. When you do that, you begin to notice things. You begin to notice that life, that, they say, oh, you look at the rose, you don't ever see the rose. You say, oh, when I was little, when I was young, I looked at the rose, it smelled so beautiful, looked so gorgeous, but I don't see that anymore. The rose, still a rose, and it's still beautiful. What has changed is you. What has changed is me. Okay, we want to change, and the way we change it is what he's talking about. Okay, because maybe you never experienced this thing about being aware of a feeling, letting it come up, stay with it, let it runs its course. And the most important thing, don't resist it. And a lot of people don't know that. The reason they don't know that is because we have not been born with a manual. Human beings are the only creatures on earth that we do not have instincts, and we're not born with manuals. We're born and thrown into a universe where we absolutely have no idea what's going on. We don't know how to live, and we have to learn by, by trial and error. But we can also learn by looking at other people. What they say is, when you learn from other people's mistake, it will give you wisdom. But when you make your own mistakes, you get experience. It is good to have experience than to make mistakes, guys. Okay. But the reality is, why don't we just learn from the wise people so that we gain some wisdom? And you put the wisdom and experience together, unbeatable combination, guys. Okay. So a little bit at the end, and before we share, what feeling have you been resisting lately? And any of you guys just want to share with me briefly, what kind of a feeling have you been resisting lately? Is it a feeling of anger? Is it a feeling of depression? Is it a feeling of frustration? Is it a feeling of suffering? Is it a feeling of failure? What feeling have you been resisting lately? Just a couple of words, just a couple of sentences, let it out. Let it out into the universe. Go ahead.
All of it, I'll tell it.
Nut.
You are crazy, man.
Mine
Sometimes
is
You
I
know,
feel
you
like
know
a
what mine
loser.
is, Sam? You know what mine is? Mine is
Go ahead.
discipline. Mine is discipline. I am so fucking undisciplined.
You are
Would that
undisciplined.
count?
Are you resisting being undisciplined? Is that what you're saying?
I guess I am. I don't know what it is, man. I just can't get on a routine. I can't get on a pattern.
The,
I
the, the
can't be
fact the,
consistent. I'm not being
the fact that you
consistent.
say that, Gary, listen, the fact that you say that is
Hmm.
exactly telling me that you're resisting being undisciplined. That's all. Okay.
Mm.
Until you give up this resistance, until you accept you, Gary, as who you are, with all your faults, all your imperfections, until you accept you as exactly as who you are, then you will never have the life or that attitude of discipline that you're looking for.
I don't like to fail either.
Well,
I
that's what I'm
really don't
just
like to
saying.
fail.
You're resisting failure. Because you're resisting failure, then you resist your failure, you're resisting being disciplined, undisciplined. And the more you resist it, the more it persists. You said earlier that you make a lot of mistakes. And then you're telling me that,
Well,
that
not
you
a
hate.
lot. Not a
Oh,
complete lot. I think I've been doing good. I think I got a good track record. I
are
think
you
that
are you lying to us right now? Why are you not
well,
communicating the truth?
I think that when I do make a mistake, I don't like to go that route again. Like
I get it.
putting
I
in a
get it.
garbage, like putting in a garbage disposer. You know,
Right, right. But okay,
I
getting back, guys, getting back to what I was talking about, don't resist. Give up your resistance to any kind of a negative feeling that you have, and it will change your life. Okay. And it's easy to say. You do that by affirmations. That's the next topic. Okay. Tips to help you let go. Number one, create a list of affirmations. Affirmations are statements that you make to yourself to empower you to do something that you have not been able to do. That's the best definition of affirmation I can give you. Okay. So something like, okay, here's your affirmation. I now release this negative feeling of resisting to failures. I'll now let go of that and choose happiness over, and choose happiness over this desperation. Anything that you can say to yourself that you release. You don't say, I don't want to do something. You just say, I now release. You have a negative feeling about somebody. I now release this negative feeling about so and so into the universe. I'll let go. I no longer want to have that. Okay. I want to be happy. Okay. I now release my resistance to failure to the universe. I let it go. I now release, okay, my resistance to being the number one. Because some people are compulsively, they have to be number one and be in that competitive nature. Anything that you are totally obsessed with, it ruins your life. Obsessions are no good, folks. Commitments are good, okay, but obsessions aren't. Okay, so create a list of affirmations that you release this negative feeling into the world. Okay, you release it and surrender to it. You let go. Okay, so it is important for you that to understand that in life there is a feeling and there is an action. It's like a circle. They kind of follow each other. So feeling and action follow each other. So let me ask you guys a question, very simple question. Is it easier to control your actions, or is it easier to control your feelings?
Feelings.
Well, your
Is
feelings,
it
your,
easier to control your actions, or is it easier to control your feelings?
well, your
Action.
actions is the
Come on.
byproduct of your
is
feelings.
easier.
Yeah,
I would
okay,
say it's
one at a time. Chris, what do you say? Action or feeling?
Well, your actions is the byproduct of your feelings.
Okay,
You know,
so
so
okay, hold on. Let me rephrase my question. Okay, which one is more under your control? Is it action that is more under your control, or the feeling that is more under your control? So
That's
Chris, what do you say? Action or feeling? Chris,
I would
fast.
say
Just say
your
action or
action.
feeling.
Yeah, I would say
Very
your
good, very
actions.
good. Gary, what do you say? Action or feeling?
definitely your actions.
Action. Taylor, action or feeling?
Your actions.
Action. How about you, Gerald? Action or feeling?
I would say action.
Okay. So Sandra, action or feeling?
And action.
Action. So okay, it's like unanimous. There is no question that actions are more under our control than our feelings. Otherwise, people don't feel like crap all the time. If they had control over their feelings and they're feeling like crap right now, they say now, oh, I now feel fantastic. And the big smile will come on their face, not a phony one, a real one, and life becomes bright. The reason people are in such lives, they lead such lives of quiet desperations in the words of Henry David Thoreau. Yeah, he had a fantastic book. It's on Walden Pond. And this book was written about 150 years ago by Henry David Thoreau, who, by the way, was a contemporary of Ralph Waldo Emerson. Okay, so he said most men include women, because back then they just said men, which is crap. Most people lead lives of quiet desperation. If it was so easy for people to change their feelings, then they will not lead the lives of quiet desperations, folks. Action. So what do? Get up and do something. Walk around the block, sweep the yard, organize your closet, call the people you haven't called in a little while. Okay, go change the oil in your car, go water the plants. Okay, do something, because most people are just sitting on their couches. And I'm not saying you guys, I'm talking about you guys are amongst the cream of the crop. But I'm talking about most people never want to improve in their lives, sitting on their lazy couches or recliners or whatever, and trying to change the world. That ain't gonna happen. Things happen when you take action. Okay, anytime your life stagnates, anytime your life is standstill, nothing is getting better, guess what? The universe is giving you a signal. It says do something, act, change something. You have a home that you can't sell and you just put it in the paper, it won't sell. Then pick up the phone and call a few other places. Pick up the phone, call your friends. Go outside and do flyers. That's what the universe is telling you. Anytime life stagnates, anytime life slows down, anytime life gets boring, you need to act. And believe me, the moment you act, the feeling would follow. When you act happy, when you act energetic, when you act productive, your morale, your sense of well-being goes up, because the foundation of morale is productivity, and productivity is taking action. What is morale? Morale is a sense of well-being, high spirits. It's not moral, it's morale. It's got an E at the end, and it means that the more productive you are, the more action you take, the higher and the better you feel. That's why I said action, feeling follows action. Do something. Can you guys relate to what I'm saying right now?
Yes.
I believe there was a quote, Sam, that I saw. I forget whether I saw it on TV or reading a book, but it said something similar to what you were just talking about. It said the best cure for disappointment and depression is action.
Absolutely. In fact, when I took an NLP course with Dr. Bander and Dr. Grinder in San Diego, both of them are dead right now. These folks were the founders of NLP, neuro-linguistic programming. These guys were they're true therapists, true human beings that wanted to help humanity. Then all of a sudden, somebody like Anthony Robbins comes and he commercializes it, uses NLP and make billions and billions of dollars, not billions, millions of dollars, commercializing their strategy and technique. I'm not saying it's bad. All I'm saying is that these people were the founders. When I took a course from them, when I took that course, I found out exactly what this thing meant, because they told us right from the beginning that in order for you to get where to get to where you need to get, okay, is not by daydreaming, okay? It's not by, it's like having a plan that you don't put into action is basically a daydream. They basically told me that in order for you to make a change in your life, you have to change your fear into power. And the only way you can change your fear into power is by action, because action cures fear. I have experienced it many times in my life that I was scared shitless because I had to take something, and I, do something that I was procrastinating, putting it off. And the moment I decided to act upon it, the entire fear disappeared. Okay. In a physical sense, I'll give you an example. I'm a good swimmer. So, when I was little, like maybe about 10 years old, I went to my friends to this, huge swimming pool, like a, public swimming pool. And they had like 3 levels of diving, dives, 3-level dives. And the one at the top, God knows, I think it was about 30 feet. I don't know. I was swimming, but it was too high for me. So the bottom line of it is, okay, so the bottom line of it is that at that particular time that I went to that platform, and I said, I'm going to jump. But when I got to the top, fear grasped me. There is no way. I looked down and I looked at the swimming pool and says, no way I'm going to do this thing. And guess what? The friends behind me said, you ain't going back. You have to jump. And I swear, guys, the moment I jumped off the platform, guess what happened? That second, there was no fear whatsoever. So I know for a fact that action cures fear. You're afraid, take action. And I know you can't see me right now because I want to finish this, but hopefully my words are getting to you. I wish I just wanted to finish this. But anyways, so we got that. Then I'm going to tell you very briefly, there are 5 stages of grief that everyone goes through. It's for any form of suffering. The first thing that happens to you when life is no good, when something bad happens to you in life, you deny it. Your home is in foreclosure. The first thing they do is deny it. How do I know that? Because 90% of people do not take any action to save their home until the last week when the property is about to be lost in an auction. Last week, sometimes last 20 days. 3 months goes by because you have 3 months and 21 days for a foreclosure action to take place. So the 90 days, they won't do absolutely nothing. Absolutely. And in the last 21 days, they figure, oh my God, I'm about to lose my home. So the first stage is denial. Then you go into anger, then bargaining, then depression, then acceptance. I'm not going to go through all of them. You can study it online. But the sooner you can get yourself from denial to acceptance, the sooner your life will change for the better. So anything that happens to your life, anything that is bothering you, anytime you're depressed and upset, try to get yourself to acceptance as soon as you can. Okay, that's something that is going to be very good for you to do. So anyways, homework, make a list of the negative thoughts and feelings you're currently experiencing. You don't have to tell me. Just make a list of the negative thoughts and feelings you're currently experiencing. Sit in quiet meditation and let go of each one per the guidelines we just discussed here. Okay, so I'm just going to stop this and come back to you guys. Okay, can you see me, guys?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, so sorry, I wanted to read that. So was that of help to you, what we just did?
Absolutely.
Is this helping you?
Oh, yeah.
What book is that information from, Sam?
The book is called Letting Go.
Letting Go. Okay.
Yeah, by Dr. David Hawkins. Okay, it's not Stephen Hawking, you know, the physicist, British
Right.
physicist that died recently. It's an American guy. He's an MD, PhD, and he's got several books, including Power versus Force. Remember, I tell you guys a lot about Power versus Force? Same
Yes,
author.
I remember that.
Yeah. So let's go around one time, all of you guys. I want you to share before we say goodbye tonight. Share with me what you have learned tonight in a few words, whatever, how many words you want to use. Share with me how many of what you have learned tonight that you can use in your life to make it better. Go ahead.
I'd like to say kind of like, you know, what you were talking about just a couple of minutes ago about letting go. You know, that's something, it's been something that's been kind of a practice of mine for the most part. No matter what particular situation that I might be in terms of feelings. And that's kind of like how I use that. You know, we were just talking earlier about the kind of the mindfulness of it, being in the middle of that stream, not kind of veering off and being
each
fixated
bank.
too much on
Yeah.
the shore, each bank of the
Yeah.
shoreline and all that, because that's where you're stagnant.
Yes.
And I think what I've been doing, because I've been doing actually a lot of meditation, Sam.
Good.
I use this Calm app to kind of aid me in it, and they talk a lot about that. They talk a
You
lot
want to
about
share that app
mindfulness.
with everybody? What's the name of it? It's Calm. It's CALM.
CALM.
Oh yeah,
It's
I
called
have it.
Calm.
I have it. That's the
Yeah.
one that LeBron James, you know, also
Right.
talks about a lot. Yeah, that's actually a good one. So thank you for sharing that. Yeah,
I use it
appreciate that.
religiously. I use it
Yeah.
religiously. Actually, I was using it not too long before I got on this call.
Oh, I see. Okay, well, good for
And
you. I'm glad.
yeah, and they talk a lot about mindfulness on that, and that's kind
I
of like
see.
how it's both what you're saying and that is kind of incorporated.
That's awesome. Thank you so much. Hey, Gerald, what do you say?
Oh, and just like Christopher, I have also been doing more meditation. A lot thanks to you, Sam, and some of your earlier meetings. We practiced meditation, and that kind of led me on a journey. So it's been really helpful in terms of reducing anxiety. But I also think the universe is talking to me because you said a quote from Henry David Thoreau. Is that correct?
Correct.
And I've heard the name before, but was never really familiar with it. And I just so happened to quoted him today for the first time that says, "Go confidently in the direction of your dreams. Live the life you've imagined." So now I'm gonna study more on Henry David Thoreau. So thanks so much for introducing him to me.
Oh, my pleasure. He's an American treasure, man. I mean, two of the people that I really respect in the American literature, Henry David Thoreau and Ralph Waldo Emerson. I know there's a lot of them, but I just like this. And I also want to recommend you guys to read some of the essays of Emerson. They're all available online. Okay, there's an essay that he has about oversoul. Oversoul, he's talking about the nature of existence. He's talking about the nature of God. Okay, he's got another one. It's called self-reliance. Amazing. That he's talking about, you know, what self-reliance is. I mean, these are the things that have meaning in life. You know, that's what I'm not saying that business is bad, making money is bad. I like it, I make it. The fact of the matter is there are more important things in life, and part of your success that is going to be enduring, a success that is going to be enduring for you, is to be accompanied by a sense of positive expectations. What good is it that you're negative, that you're miserable, and you got a whole shitload of money in the bank? Of course, it beats the hell out of being poor and having those kinds of attitudes. Of course, no doubt about it. But there is still being miserable and having a lot of money. What a waste of life. You want to be happy at the same time where you have the money. And how much money is enough? Don't be greedy. Just get enough to have a comfortable life, but don't sacrifice your happiness. Don't sacrifice your joy. Don't sacrifice your children, your life, your family for the sake of money. And how often does that happen? All these people that have got billions and billions of dollars, watch their biographies. The majority of them, 90% of the time, 99% of the time, 24/7, 365, they're working. The wife doesn't see them, the kids don't see them, nobody sees them, they're just working. Okay, to me, that's the wasted life. I like to have some of the money, but I also want to have a life of joy, a life that I say, hey, look, I was born as a little baby donkey and now I live as a grown donkey, you know? You know what I'm saying? I don't like that just grow up as a donkey is what I mean. Just the opposite. I want to grow as a human being. Okay, I was born as a baby, didn't know nothing, and I'm leaving this world with a lot of knowledge, a lot of experience, with a lot of wisdom. I helped a lot of people. That's what's important. Okay, so Greg, what do you say, buddy?
Where I'm at in the 5 stages, I believe I'm in the stage of acceptance, and that's what I learned this evening.
That's beautiful. That's beautiful. Yeah, that's really where, you know, the beginning of a beautiful life. The moment you accept, and acceptance is not about it's not just about the things that happen to us, us accepting ourselves. Sometimes we deny ourselves, and then we get that, you know, we're depressed about ourselves. Then we start bargaining with ourselves. I mean, it's like with us. It's not even with you, Greg. It's not with somebody else. I'm doing it with me. You know what I'm saying? And I'm just talking for all of us. That's what I want you to understand. You know, that denial, don't deny yourself, because, you know, you are the most beautiful person. You're the most important person in the world. You don't want to deny yourself. You want to accept yourself for whatever and whoever you are. Bad, good, you know, mediocre, muscle menos, whatever it doesn't matter. It is just you. And there is a reason for you to be here. And you got to accept that as the reality of your life. The moment you do that, your life begins to take a beautiful sort of like a perspective. Begin to say, oh yeah, you know, it is me. It is, and I love myself. I cherish myself. I honor myself for whatever and whoever I am. That's a good affirmation, you know, by the way. So Richard, how about you?
It's been a great hour, Sam, I'll tell you. I'm not going to say I learned a lot of new things, because I think you and I have done a lot of similar reading. To be reminded, to hear, to put into words, just remind us of these truths that are told in so many different ways,
Right,
but the same set of truth.
Right.
That's where the power is. So I found this last hour being reminded of things I haven't thought about in a long time, or thought about last night. It's like, great. It's giving more power in the universe because more people are giving language to it.
That's beautiful. That's beautiful. Oh, absolutely. Thank you for sharing, by the way. That's really beautiful. And, you know, it's really the essence of, I don't know if you folks have read the book Illusion. Okay, the Blue Illusions is just an amazing book. In one part of the book, the author, Bach, he talks about, you know, how we are all teachers and students at the same time. He says that, you know that over here, it's not like we're teaching something to somebody. We're just reminding them of what they already know, because all of us already know what we're supposed to know. And when somebody like Richard tells me something, he's not teaching me something. He just reminded me of something that I already knew, and I did exactly the same. I'm not teaching any of you folks. I'm just sharing, and during the process of sharing, I'm only happy to remind you of how great you are, of how well you can, you know, how you can change your life, how you can let go of negative feelings, and you already know all of that. I'm just there as a reminder to say, hey, it is so, and like Richard says, hey, yeah, I got it. You know, you reminded me of all of that. I'm happy to do that. Thank you. Sandra, what do you say?
I don't know. I'm not quite there yet. I dwell over stuff, like I procrastinate and then I dwell over it, and I'm good at certain things and not at others. So
I
it's
see.
a vicious circle. Yeah. I mean, I dwell on it, but it doesn't make me do what I'm supposed to do, you know.
I see. But you know what? That's the beauty of who you are. Accept yourself for what you are. That's what I'm just trying to tell you. Don't judge yourself. Oh, I do this and it's no good, and I do that, that's good. It's not about that. It's about Sandra, the way that she is. Sandra Toban is this package, and this package is what you got in this life. Love it, or, you know, or you can't leave it because we can't kill ourselves, right? So love it and accept it, and your life is going to take, you know, it's going to be better. Your life is going to change, because anything that you do from that perspective becomes like, you know what, it is me. I'm a beautiful person. I'm doing what's needed to be done, and I don't make any judgments about it. I don't label it as a good or a bad or whatever. I'm here to supposed to do what I'm supposed to be doing. And when you look at it like that, life is different. You know, it's not so much suffering. When you do things, when you invest with joy. If you win, it's great. If you lose, it's not important. You learn the lesson. You know, when we look at it like that, that's when life becomes beautiful. You know, thank you for sharing. I appreciate that.
Thank
How
you.
about you, Eileen? Eileen? Eileen, can you hear us? Hello, Eileen.
Eileen doesn't have a
Oh,
microphone.
she doesn't have an audio. Okay, great. Okay, so let's see who else we have. I guess we talked to Gerald. You are Gary. Did you say something? Oh, wait a minute, Taylor. Taylor, what do you say? What did you learn? Taylor? Oh, I don't know if she can hear us. Hello, Taylor.
Yes, I'm here.
Oh, thank you. So I was just asking you what, you know, to share with us a little bit about what you learned and what you, you know, if you like to share that, that is.
I guess my letting go relates to the last topic of fear. I was afraid of leaving my full-time job. I had a safe, secure job at a university, and I was afraid to like leave that and go full-time into investing. Even though I had always been an investor for a long time, it had always been part-time, and this was me jumping full-time. So when I did leave, it's been over a year. I think the letting go part is that because I have a different environment now, I don't really have the same kind of, I don't have the commonality with my old, what do you call it, my old coworkers. You know, they were work friends, but now we really don't relate that much because we're like on different paths now. So I'm kind of just letting go of that group and just moving on with my new group. Thank you.
That's beautiful. So then the process, did you experience this process of sort of like going through the stages of maybe fear, you know, that you were experiencing that, or no? It was just sort of like you trusted yourself and you believed in your ability. Oops, I guess we missed, I don't know. Okay, anyways. So any of you guys that hasn't shared that you want to say something? Okay, so you are, go ahead, Gary, you want to say something? Gary?
Well, basically, the only thing, I hope it applies. The only thing, you know, what I look really forward to is just moving forward. You know, I look forward to hopefully, and that's one of the things I wanted you to comment on is how do you see the future? How do you see the real estate market in maybe the next year or so?
Okay, first of all, you know, this program is not about real estate. It's about, you know, self-improvement and personal development.
Oh, okay, yeah,
Just
I'm sorry.
but that
Yeah,
I said,
you're right.
wait a second, because I'm gonna go to the other room and I'm gonna get my crystal ball. I've got a beautiful blue crystal ball that I'm gonna bring over here, and I'm gonna look into it, and I'm gonna say what is gonna happen. But I'm gonna end with this, folks.
Yeah.
The future is as beautiful as you make it.
Yeah.
Okay, is as ugly as you can make it, as beautiful as you make it. Just
Well,
look at it. Yeah, look at it from that perspective. And doesn't matter what you do right now, Gary, whether it's in business or life, enjoy the moment, because there is no security in life. Life
Can I
is
say something?
absolutely in its foundation insecurity. You
Yeah.
don't know when you come, you don't know when you go.
Right.
Just
Right.
enjoy the moment, be mindful of this particular time, and
Mhm.
do the things you want to do and you like to do and you need to do. That's all.
Okay.
Just go
Yeah.
ahead and move on forward.
Yeah.
Sam,
Yeah.
Okay.
can I say something,
Yes.
Sam?
Go ahead.
No, you know, kind of what you said earlier, I was kind of thinking about something Tony Robbins actually said when you were talking
Right.
about, you know, someone who has a lot of money and, you know,
Right.
and just, you know, and miserable. He actually said that in one of his tapes that I was listening to, or CDs. He said, if you can't fix, and I'm paraphrasing right now, if you can't fix whatever is going on the inside of you, you know, if you can't fix that, if you get if you get into a lot of money, if you come into a lot of money and you are still miserable, you know, even after that, then you're really screwed at that point. You know, you are really screwed, because if you get everything that you say you quote unquote want, and yet you're still miserable and upset and all this other kind of stuff you said, then
In other words, whatever you have currently will expand. If you're
absolutely.
miserable now with money, you'll be more miserable. If you're happy now
That's
with
exactly
more
what he
money,
said.
you'll be more happy. You know,
Yes.
so money will only expands and expands whatever it is that you're currently experiencing. That's
Yeah.
basically what it is. True. It is true. Folks, thank you so much for being with me tonight. Okay.
Thank you, Sam.
It's
It
a
was
great event. Are we going to have more of these, Sam?
Well, we were planning to have it once a month. Okay, so this is the second one. It seems like when I do real estate, a lot more people come, because I guess we have more people interested in making money than self-improving, improving
But this
themselves.
is the
No, but
cream.
this is
This
right.
is the cream of it.
Yeah, correct. But I believe that this thing is necessary for you folks to be successful in real estate or whatever it is that you want to do, and in life in general. And I think more people eventually are going to get it. What I'd love for you guys to do is to get the word that, to spread the word, get other people to call in, call Taylor, so that so our group grows, because I really want to make an effect change in our community for the better. I really do want people to be happier, because we have had enough of misery and crap and suffering and people dying and negativity, at the government level, at the global level. Enough. The only way we can offset all of this negativity we get more people like us thinking positive, thinking life it's beautiful, enjoying life, bringing joy and happiness to your life, to our lives of our family, or anybody who's around us. When we do that, okay, one little happiness is equivalent of destroying this much negativity. That's why people like maybe Jesus or Buddha or Einstein or Mozart or Van Gogh at any level, that anybody that
or the Beatles. All we need is
Beatles,
love. All we need is love.
I totally agree
All
with you.
we
Totally
need
agree with
is
you.
love.
Yeah. What I'm saying is more people like us bringing positive energy to the world in any form, whether it's art, music, science, medical, anything, spirituality. The more of us bringing that to the world, every little positive atom is enough to offset millions and billions of negativity. Otherwise, this world would have been destroyed by now, because we see how much negative is out there. But just a few little positive, maybe 10% of the population, is enough to hold this planet and this earth together. And that's what we want to get out there and get them, get the message across. Okay.
I believe that.
Amen.
Yeah, I believe that.
Stick with it, Sam, please, because with the more people are going to hear about this, this is much more attractive than making money.
I think this is the very foundation.
Yeah.
So
Agreed.
I would say, Sam, if we can do this on a monthly basis, if we can, I'd say I'm all in. I'm all in.
Yeah.
Plus, I love your. Can you hear me? Can you hear me now?
I can hear you.
Plus, I love a lot of your quotes from Ralph Waldo Emerson and Henry Thoreau, because I think both of those guys are from my neck of the woods. I think they were both born in Boston, Massachusetts.
They're Massachusetts.
Yeah, they're my neck of the woods. So I really enjoy that.
I'm from Marblehead.
Yeah.
Hi, everyone. I just want to say that this is actually already scheduled for the third Tuesday of each month. So if you'd like to, save the date on your calendar, it's the third Tuesday of each month from 7:30 to 8:30. And we've noticed, though, the last couple of them, we've run more than the hour. So it might be more like an hour and a half than an hour.
It's still good. It's still good.
Yeah.
I think hour and a half is good. So every month, thank you, Taylor. Every month, the topic will change, folks. It's not always this. Okay. We had
Tuesday,
fear
right?
last month. Yeah. Now we have, letting go. Next month, it might be a part of the European history. Maybe I share with you a part of European history where the philosophy, actually, the modern philosophy took off. Okay. So it may be that. And then the next time it may be something about the poetry, by, you know, by one of the great poets. You know, I take a poetry of somebody and then we can all share it and learn from it. So every month I try to keep it very sort of diverse, you know, and get knowledge and wisdom from all over the world, you know, from all these great sages. Okay,
Yeah,
not
and
just
Ern-
not
and-
just one or two.
And earlier, Gerald suggested a meditation topic.
Oh, that's good. Okay, maybe next month we're gonna have the I talked to you about a meditation technique that we do.
Yeah.
Okay, that is very easy to, and then we all kind of like maybe 5 minutes meditate, and then we go into the actual something to discuss and enjoy.
Oh,
But
that's-
thank you so much, guys, for being with me tonight. I really appreciate it. Thank you, Taylor, for helping out.
Fantastic.
Any of you guys have any questions, please feel free to call. Okay, write emails or whatever, and we love you. Okay, take care. Bye bye.
Thank you.
See you
Bye,
guys.
everyone.
Thanks,
Thanks,
Sam.
Sam.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye,
Bye.
Hey,
everybody.
Taylor.